Hello YouTube, this is Andrew K4 here with a review of my model railroad. Now this layout basically has been a work in progress since I believe 2012 or so is when I started it. It's a 4x8 layout that's on a freelance town in Pennsylvania. Basically here we have a double track main line here. This is the downtown, so to speak. So we have our station. This is a Atlas kit. A lot of layouts have one of these. Over here we have a church. I'm not sure what build this is. I believe it's model power. Across the tracks is the only industry that the layout has right now. This is a factory that I actually designed and built in one of my shop classes. Up the road here we have a small dairy farm here. We have Jersey cows out in the pasture along with some Angus, and we even have a Holstein over here getting milked. One person fell down, but I'll ignore that. So moving on down the track here, we have a pair of crossovers that lead to the industry, as well as a water tower and a small shed for my pump cart. This is one of those Bachmann ones, and it's kind of a hit or miss runner, but it's a nice novelty. Right next to the station we have a drugstore, though, well, it doesn't really need to be any particular store in general, but it's a nice thing to have for the illusion of a town. As we go around the bend here, we have a rock cut. Now, originally I was opting to do a tunnel here, but I decided, well, I like a rock cut better. It makes more sense. It's a freelance layout, but I like the looks of rock cuts a lot better than tunnels personally. So here on the other side of the rock cut here we have a sweeping curve that comes over to a 3-arch stone bridge. This bridge is actually made out of a piece of foam that I covered in plaster, and then using an X-Acto knife cut each of these stones into it, painted it gray, and then I weathered it using India ink, and it didn't turn out too bad, but I might try something else later that's a little bit better. Now, the little pond or lake that it crosses, we got a guy fishing out on a boat, and up here is his cabin. And over in this corner, I eventually want to have a waterfall right here, but I'm a long ways off from that. So over here we have another small rock cut, and we have a signal bridge. Now, between the signal bridge and the real bridge, you could basically see that I'm getting kind of a Pennsylvania Railroad theme. I'm a big Pennsy fan myself, so. But the idea of this layout being freelanced is I want to ultimately make it so I can run whatever I want on this. It doesn't matter if it's Pennsylvania Railroad, New York Central, Lackawanna. Basically anything I want to run on this that can actually go on these curves, I can run on this layout. And speaking of these curves, the outside radius is actually a mixture of 4-foot diameter and 3-foot diameter, which, looking back in hindsight, I really wish I didn't do, but it's fine. It works for this purpose. This track probably will be replaced at some point, and the curves will likely be changed out for flex track. So over here we have a switch to and nowhere. Basically the plan is to make this layout so it's expandable, with this switch going to a yard lead where I'll have several tracks to store cars, as well as a turntable and roundhouse for engines that I want to run that day. The power for this track is a Tech 3 power command. I got one of these because, well, due to the track conditions, it's nice to know when something is actually shorting out or if there's an actual problem with it, and seeing as some of the locomotives in my collection are way too big for these 3-foot radius curves, whenever I test something on the layout, it's nice to see, hey, yeah, you can't run this here. If it doesn't derail, it'll short out. So, this basically brings us back around. Now, another question that you might ask about this track is, this is Bachmann Easy Track, and again, in hindsight, I would not recommend using this for a solid layout. Even though it's the nickel silver variety, it's probably partially being in a garage, there is some corrosion. Now the ties, I actually, for some reason, several years ago, I painted all the ties brown, thinking, oh yeah, that'll look pretty nice. But looking back now, that's another thing I kind of regret doing, but it gives a kind of an old look. Some of this, if I had to pinpoint an actual date for this layout, I would say 1920s would make the most sense for any equipment that you want to run on it. Now, I obviously run things from all airs. I have diesels, late steam, even a couple of electrics that really don't make sense on this layout. But it's alright for what it is. In the future, yeah, I would like to make something definitely modular, because I can get it out of this garage, but there's not a whole lot of places I can actually take it right now. And now, without further ado, let's do some running of some of the trains in the layout. Well, I hope you enjoyed the tour of my layout. If you would like to see a review on this custom blue Comet set that I made, please like and subscribe for more videos in the future. This is Andrew K4, thank you for watching.